Good morning, how's everybody doing? I really appreciate everybody watching our videos. There's some more free videos on my YouTube channel, chriscruzdesigns.com. This is the 5-day, 5 art projects for $5 each. And today we are working on the snowman. And the fun about these projects is you don't have to stick to one kind of paper. I know a lot of you, including myself, have tons of papers laying around the house and you don't know what to do with them. They're not big enough for a project, so this is the perfect project to do this. If you want to buy the kit with all the wood and all the papers and everything like that, just go to my website, and then this way everything is right there in front of you and you don't have to worry about, oh, let me find this or that, all the paper is cut and everything like that. You will notice that on the original panel, I had some blue paper with some little white dots. That's the paper in the background. Well, today, I'm going to do this again on birch plywood. And I did just a little striped paper because it's what I had laying around. And we're going to do this little cute snowman face. I suggest you watch the video completely and then come back and do it. We're going to have some minimum colors. I have some white, some red, some blue, oh, and some orange. We need some orange for the little snowman's nose, right? I have it right here. And use whatever colors of paint you have at home. Don't go crazy buying paint so I don't have exactly that orange. Listen, you can mix anything. And if you have watched some of my videos, you know that all you need to do is have a little bit of paint and make it whatever you like it to be, right? Okay, let's get started. Less talking, more painting. Okay, so here, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint the snowman face. But if I was to paint this just totally white to start with, I would see all the little lines on my paper. People always tell me, oh my goodness, I have to give it 4 coats of paint. No. What you do is you take a little bit of the white, turn my palette around so you can see it, and mix it with some gray. And what happens is it covers my little lines so that I can come back later. See that? You can't see barely the lines. I'm using a filbert brush, a big size. This is a number 10. And what I'm doing is I'm just mixing my white with a little bit of the black, just so that I can cover that surface. And don't worry if your gray goes too dark, it doesn't matter because we're gonna come back with the white. And I don't overwork it. When you pull your paint, pull from the side here. Mix it with a little bit of your black. Well, we're going on this side here. Turn it around. We can cover that. We can come back later and fix that. And I'm not painting like this really on the line. Let me just cover all of that. No, just put it on there. Don't worry about the pencil marks. Those will disappear too. Great. Okay. Now you have the little snowman face. We need to put a little white on the body. We'll do the same thing. We'll pull a little bit of the white paint right here, a little bit of the black, and cover the edges right here. This is going to come out a little bit more. And he has a little chubby little body right here. Some more white paint and black. And come all the way to the side here and cover that paper. Now, a little trick is if you don't put a lot of water in your brush, you'll get a lot more texture. And I like my work to look like I had layers and layers and layers of texture in it, but with minimum effort. One of the secrets that people say to me, oh, how does your paint look so even? The secret is less water. I see artists all the time drowning the paint down. You pay a lot of money for your paint. Use it. don't drain it out with water. Make sure you put it on there. So now I'm not gonna even rinse my brush out. I'm just gonna wipe it, oh, let's see, right there on my paper towel. I will take a little bit of blue. In this instance, it happens to be manganese blue because everybody knows that's my favorite color. And I will put it right here on the background. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. See that? Let's do it this way. I don't know why this little palette is all over the place today, but it is. Turn it around. Go right around the face here. That part you do slow. And because I have a filbert brush, I can go around the face of the snowman without a lot of effort. And because I've traced these lines pretty dark, if you notice, I can still see my little dark line right here where I'm going to put the shading. And I'm going to take a little bit of that red just on the side of my brush. See that? Just a little bit, just to make my blue a little bit darker. And I'm going to outline where my lines are, which are right there and right here. Let's put a little bit around his face. I'll do it slow. I have just red on this side of my brush. Take very slow, don't press very hard. That's the second mistake everybody makes. They press their brush really hard. I'm barely touching the surface here. And look how much paint is coming out of my brush. See that? One little line and you're shaded. Come back, turn it around, only because I'm right-handed. I'm gonna turn my palette around. I'm not rinsing my brush, okay? I'm just gonna take a little bit of white on the side here, which would make my blue a little bit lighter. That's it. And I'm gonna highlight a little bit of his hat very unevenly. See that? It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't care if it looks perfect or not, because it's not going to be. Now that gives it texture right away. You don't have to worry about, oh, how many coats of that I have to do. No, it's right there. And because we want to cover the lines here, red is a very hard color to use, or orange, to cover a surface, because it's almost like, I don't know, kind of transparent, right? So I am not going to rinse my blue out. Oh, but I'm going to do this. I will bring this out here, and I'm going to show you a little trick later. Let me just turn this one around here too. Take your paint and always, always pull from the side here. See that? Take your brush. Do his little scarf, and I'm gonna turn this around and make it almost like a flat brush. And what happens is it makes our red darker. See that? Which is fine, because then we'll come back with the same paint that we used, and it's gonna be lighter. Notice how we don't have to have 20 colors of paint. Let me turn this around for you. Come around the other side, right here at the edge of this little snowman, and put your red. And there is your scarf. He's looking cute already, if you ask me. I will rinse my brush completely, because now I am going to put white on my snowman's face, and I want my snowman to be white. Rinse your brush, tap it lightly on your paper towel. Remember, don't smush it. And I will take a nice amount of white. See that? I'm not mixing it, I'm not doing anything, I'm just picking it up, and I'm gonna lay it down here right in the center. When you're doing something that's round or flat, it doesn't matter. A lot of people wind up starting here, and what happens is the paint tends to move out because that's where you have the most amount of paint. And then the face gets really, really big. I always unload my paint a little bit inside my project and slowly turn my brush around, see that? So that I don't have a little lip on my paint. See that little lip there? Very softly, I'm gonna touch it, and because I don't have a lot of paint on it, it's gone. So that's how you get rid of that. Turn it around, pick up a little bit of white or a lot, it doesn't matter. Drop in the middle, and now very slowly, I'm going to work myself into this little corner here because I don't want to have any pencil lines showing. I'm going to turn it around, go around your scarf. Now, if you're watching this video first without painting along with me, you'll notice that what's happening is we're creating texture on the snowman's face. See that? Because it's uneven and it's drying at different times. So the first batch may dry a little bit faster, the little one a little bit slower, but it's all gonna be nice and dry. Move it around and your snowman face literally is done. Now, how easy is that? If you don't think this is easy, then I don't know. But this is super, super easy and fun. Let me turn him around. Now, doesn't that little guy look fluffy? I just love him. I will cover a little bit right here. And see, the background, it doesn't matter. If it's, you know, if it just looks like this, or it looks like the stripes, it's still pretty. Turn around, take again the white, and I come here, remember, unload a little bit below the surface that you're gonna paint, and I'm always constantly turning my project. I don't know how people can paint straight. It just, I can't do it. So if you're one of those people that can paint straight, I envy you. But if you're like me, turn your project. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're painting, that's all that matters. Take my brush right here to the edge. Now you're wondering, oh, how's she gonna make that scarf a little bit lighter? I'll tell you, I got a little secret for that. This little guy goes here. See, and it doesn't matter. I'm not being perfect. There, he's done. Okay. Since I have my white in my brush, and we painted this little guy's manganese blue, I'm going to show you how to shade. I'm going to take this aside. I put my white on my brush, just like that, right? A lot of people start doing this and getting the paint off. No, put your paint in there. Don't be shy, okay? When you go into your paint, I will just pull, I'm gonna show you really slow so you can see this. I will pull a little dot of that blue. See how tiny that is? I mean, it's small. And I go on the side here and I go in one direction and mix my blue. So if you can see, there's light blue here and white here. Now when I bring my project back and I put this blue there on my left, I always know that I'm shading and the paint is gonna be on the left of my brush. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to look at my brush. It's always in the same area. Take your blue and go underneath your hat and shade. See that? He's shaded. I mean, I can leave him the way it is. Again, let's do this slow. Take your white, right? Pick up a dot of the blue, that's small. Go to the same spot. Don't go around all over the place. Same spot. And blend your blue. Do the little shoulder, See that? Maybe it's not blue enough. Come back, a little dot, same spot. This way, what happens is you can see the layers building up. See that? Go all the way around. Picked up a little bit of red, no big deal. Just take your brush and blend it in there. That's it. Again, white, a little dot of the blue. Come around and do the other side. And I would say he's shaded. Leave him alone. Now I'm gonna rinse my brush completely. Don't dilly-dally. Just rinse it out. Wipe your brush again. I will go straight into my naphthol red light. Go over my scarf. All the sides, everything like that. Come here, and I don't necessarily have to cover everything that I started with red. And we're gonna do with the red the same thing we did with the white. We dipped it in the red. We'll pull a little dot of the white, right here. Mix it, and it gives me a little highlight. I will do that right here on the bottom. A little bit more, want it fluffier. Yes. Little dot here to the side. Little dot. See how repetitive the steps that I do all the time? And a little bit of highlight right here. And he's shaded. So what we did is we did the reverse. I did the dark first, put the highlight on top, and we were done. The face I'm gonna do last, and I'll tell you a little secret. I am notorious for smushing around my black all over the place. So I do my blacks last. We wanna do the little hairs in the hat. So what I do is now you can take water and put a little puddle right here. Make it nice and liquidy. Almost like an ink consistency. See that? You can use a script liner. It doesn't matter. I am going to use this brush. And if I don't press a lot, it's going to give me thin lines. But if you feel that you cannot do it with a round brush, then get yourself a brush that has a nice thin point like this one. Let me see if you can see it. There you go. And this one happens to be a Silver Ultra Mini number 8. So I load up my brush completely. See that? And I hold my brush straight up. And I start with the top layer and build down. And don't worry about it being even or not. First, I'm going to do my little lines here on my hat. Pick up a little bit of water, and you're going to need to do this many times. But if I stay in this little area here, see that? My brush is loaded and my area is wet. And I never paint two exactly the same. I don't know why, but you know, I haven't mastered that yet, and that's okay. I like that. Again, a little bit of water, a little bit of white. Take your brush, bring it to a nice point, and put some of that right here. So I start on the outside and work myself in. And wipe that with your finger. There's another way to do it too if you're lefty. Come to the outside here and work it. and just put it in there. I'm gonna go slow. See, I'm just going to put little uneven. See that? Pick up a little bit more of the white. I mean, if you're right-handed, you can do it this way too. I'm right-handed. Again, white, slow, so you can see it. White. And go in all directions. All these little yarns go in all different directions. See that? I'm gonna rinse my brush. Now, I don't want them to look like, oh, you know, the winter came and it just has all those little white things sticking out, right? So what I do is I come back with my white and my blue, my manganese blue, and I mix it to make a light little blue. And I come and I oops, too much water. I come back and I just tap it. So some of those little lines disappear. See that? But you can still see the little white coming through. And do that here and there. And I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. And he looks a little bit more natural that way. On the scarf, we can do the same thing. We can do the little lines, but we can also, since now you know how to do that, you can do the same lines on the scarf, or, which I think looks really cute, is put some little lines here. Because I have a scarf that looks just like this. Go up and down. When you're gonna do a nose on a snowman, people have the mistake of putting it right here in the middle. But I want them kind of looking sideways, right? So what I do is, this I'm gonna do really slow because I can only do it once. I will take my orange and load it on my brush. Actually, I'll take a bigger brush. Let me do something first. We need cheeks for him, right? So I will take my oval, my oval brush here, my cat's tongue, and I will take some of that orange and I will dry it on my brush. So this brush is almost dry, and I will just do a little circle here and a little circle here, and that's my cheeks. Slow circle here, slow circle there. Rinse my brush. I will take my big round brush. This way you do it just once. And I'm gonna load this slowly so you can see the little trick of how I do my nose. I'm gonna move my little palette over. You wet your brush. Take your orange and load it on your brush, right? It's nice and thick and gooky, right? And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of red on the side and press just once or twice. That's it. So you should have red on here and orange on that side right there. See that? And I'm gonna move this over here. Sorry about that. Don't start in the middle. Start around here. And I'm gonna do this really, really slow. What I do is I start with the letter C, and C, and C, and C, 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 and the C's get smaller and smaller and smaller. You can make them bigger, doesn't matter. but just do it once. See, 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 see. And now you have his little nose. Simple. I will rinse my brush out and do the little eyes, the crisscross eyes. I have liquid black paint, not tube paint like the other sides. And I have brown on my palette because I was using it for something else and then decided I wasn't going to use it. So there it is. So ignore that. Take my brush. Now you can trace the eyes on there with the little outline that I gave you, but you don't need to. My guide is at the end of the little nose here is where my first eye is going to be, right? And I'm going to do it like a teardrop. So I will go here very slowly, fill it in. Pick up a little bit more black. Pick up a little bit more black. Come right next to it and do another little oval. Then I turn them upside down and I take my black paint and my brush that is nice and pointy, and I come very slow around the edge here to make it really nice and oval. Make it as perfect as you can, because that is your whole project, is your little snowman's eyes. Okay, then I take my brush and I start right here on the top of the eye, and without pressing very hard, I make the first eyelash longer. Let me put some more paint. I make the first eyelash longer, shorter. Oh, that's too much. Don't like that. I'll take a clean brush and wipe it off. Okay, let's try this again. Go straight here. Go smaller, smaller. Do the same thing on the other side. And put a nice little eyebrow here. And a really cute little mouth here halfway, and squiggle it. Pick up some white without rinsing your black out and do a couple of little drops here. And voila. Oh, let's give them some little cold buttons here too. There you go. And there's your little snowman. So I hope you enjoyed painting with me today. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, my website, chriscruzdesigns.com, and I hope to see you at the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.